If you're in the market for a new lens for your APS-C or Super 35 camera, then this lens might be the best video lens to get in 2024, especially for the price. And that lens is the Sigma 18 to 35mm f1.8. So you basically got like 2 or 3 prime lenses in one lens, and it's all internally zoomed as well, all fixed aperture f1.8. And the icing on the cake for me on this lens is that there's no focus breathing, or very subtle focus breathing from what I can see so far. So it's perfect for your professional standard interviews, because this is why this lens is loved by so many videographers and filmmakers out there, because of that no focus breathing, because of that fixed aperture, and because of the versatile zoom range. 18 to 35, like I said, 29 to 55mm can get a nice wide interview. You can also get a nice side angle interview at 56mm as well, and it's also great for B-roll. However, there is no image stabilization in this lens, so it's not perfect for cameras without IBIS. We do use it on handheld rigs sometimes on the C300 Mark III, because that camera is so heavy you can get some smooth shots. And on this Canon R7 it will be great as well, because this camera has in-body image stabilization. However, because it's internally zoomed, it does mean you can actually put this and balance it on a gimbal. Now the RS3 Mini, what I have behind me, I'm not sure if that will fit it on. I will do some tests. Unlike an RS3 Pro, you can sit this on a gimbal perfectly. You can zoom in and out without having to rebalance, because it's all internally zoomed. And like I said, at f1.8 you can let so much light in with that, get that lovely creamy background blur as well with that f1.8 aperture throughout the 18 to 35mm. And this is why this lens is one of the most loved lenses by videographers and filmmakers in this space, because it's just so versatile and it's so good quality for your money. A brand new, it's around 600 to 700 pounds brand new, and I know this came out around 11 years ago now in 2013, but lenses don't really die out that quickly, especially with the features that this lens has. You can pick this up used at around £300–400 as well. So if you're not unsure on this lens, you're basically getting 2 to 3 prime lenses in one for around maximum £700 if you want to get it new. That's an absolute steal, and that's why people use it so much in this filmmaking industry. It's just so versatile, it's so reliable, and the image out of it is stunning. If you are using the Canon R7 or C70, you will have to get the EF version and adapt it to the new RF cameras using the EF to RF adapter. But again, that doesn't really make any difference whatsoever. The focus still works perfectly, and it only adds a little bit of weight and a little bit of length onto your camera anyway, so it's not really the biggest deal in the world. You can also get this lens for any Sony APS-C camera as well. I think they do it for Nikon as well. You can pretty much get this on any system, and yeah, it's just no wonder why they keep making this lens, because it's just so beloved by so many people in this industry, and I really do think it's worth it 100%, especially because a lot of these lenses nowadays, if you go into a professional interview and you want to use autofocus, a lot of lenses you can't really do that. You have to switch to manual because of the focus breathing, and a lot of lenses have focus breathing now. I have a Tamron 24-70 which I'm shooting on right now, and that does have some focus breathing, as well as even some Canon lenses, they have focus breathing as well, and some Sony G Master lenses. But this Sigma 18 to 35, it's like they designed it for video. It's just such an amazing lens. The focus breathing is very minimal, if there is any at all. I've not noticed it on any of the interviews that we've done over the years. This is the go-to interview lens on the C300 Mark III, especially as that main angle. You can get a nice wide, or you can punch in at 50mm and get quite tight as well if you want it as a second angle. Like I said, this lens is perfect for so many situations, and for the price, it's unbeatable. I will leave the link in the description below for this lens, because I really do recommend you pick it up. This isn't actually my lens, but we do use it at work for my video production company, and I am very tempted to pick this lens up now, especially because I have my Canon R7 to pair this lens with. Can you put it on full frame cameras? Well, no, because it's an APS-C lens, so it doesn't cover the full sensor. You do get vignetting around the sensor when you do shoot on this, so you will have to crop in quite a lot. However, when I put it on my R6 Mark II yesterday, there was no vignetting whatsoever, so I'm not sure if the Canon R6 Mark II is smart enough to put it into an APS-C crop mode, and that's why there was no vignetting around it at all. So you can put it on and use it straight away, because I think you put it in APS-C mode. It does seem like that it can be used on full frame cameras, but obviously you're not going to get the most out of your lens. It's not like you're going to be putting on any lens and you're getting the full width of the sensor, you will be doing a crop mode, which will lose a lot of quality, and obviously that full frame effects that it will give because you're not utilizing the whole sensor. But if there's a last minute scenario and you want to use the 1.6 times crop, then I'm pretty sure, especially on newer cameras like my R6 Mark II, because it did let me yesterday, you can put this lens on full frame cameras because of the APS-C crop mode. I won't recommend it, obviously. I would recommend getting it for an R7, a C70, a C300 Mark III, and using it on that because obviously it's a Super 35 or APS-C sensor. And then for your full frame camera like your R5C or your R6 Mark II or your A7S III, that's when you can use like a 70-200 or a 24-70 or prime lens 85 prime to get the most out of that full frame sensor by using full frame lenses. So what do you guys think? Are you interested in this lens? I will be really surprised if you're not interested in it. An 18-35mm focal length with a fixed 1.8 aperture, you just don't really hear of that these days. It's such an amazing value for money. 3 prime lenses pretty much in one. It's like that brand new 28-70 Canon has just launched for the full frame cameras. That's f2 28-70. Similar, this is 29-56mm, so you don't get up to that 70mm. However, that lens is like £3,500, so you can really see how good of a value this lens is, especially 11 years later. So I do recommend you pick this lens up, especially for video in 2024. And again, if you do want it, I will leave the link in the description below. If you did enjoy this video, hit that like button, and you might like this video up here where I talk about the Canon R7, why I brought it over the Canon R8. Making this video now, there might be another reason why I brought the R7 over the R8, because I can utilize this lens on it over the R8. So if you want to see the other 5 reasons why I chose the R7 over the Canon R8, then make sure you watch that video next.